talking about my thoughts and opinions on Apple's latest device named the iPad. Now, unfortunately, I'm not really a huge fan of the name iPad. I actually do prefer the name iSlate. Leave me a comment below if you agree with me. But when I first heard the name iSlate, I really wasn't a fan of that name either. But it did grow on me, so maybe iPad will grow on me as well. Okay, so for those of you who don't follow Apple as closely as I do, Apple did hold a keynote presentation, which today's date is actually January 27th, if you guys are unaware of that. And basically they released a new product called the iPad, and the iPad is a tablet device. Now, a tablet device is basically just a touch panel screen that will do the same thing as an everyday computer. Now, the dimensions of this device is roughly 9.5 inches tall, 7.5 inches wide, about half an inch thick, and only 1.5 pounds for the Wi-Fi only model, and about 1.6 pounds for the Wi-Fi/3G model. Now, there are 6 different versions of this device. 2 main categories, a Wi-Fi only model, and then the second category is a Wi-Fi/3G model. And each of these categories has 3 subcategories of different hard drive capacities. Now, the different capacities is a 16, 32, or 64 gigabyte flash drive, or solid state drive, as many of you guys would like to call it, which means you'll be able to access the files saved on your hard drive a lot quicker because flash is a lot more efficient than the standard spinning disk in your hard drive. Now, the battery power of this device. Apple has really raised the bar in battery life in the last year and a half with the latest devices that they've released, and actually this device is no different. The battery life for this device is projected to be about 10 hours, which is basically a full day's use for a tablet device like this. Now, this device is a haptic touch screen, so unfortunately there will not be very many styluses that you may use with this, but there are haptic styluses that you may find on eBay or other websites as well. They're not very common, but maybe they may become more common with this device when it is released. So unless you have one of these haptic touch styluses, you will have to use your fingers to use this device. Now, the device does have a lot of similar features to the current iPhone. It does have a digital compass, but one of the things that I was very shocked to hear is it does not have a built-in GPS. Instead, it uses the assisted GPS that the first generation iPhone uses. Now, at first I thought this would be a major problem because I thought it would be very slow, but then I realized that this device is a lot faster than the iPhone because it has about twice the processing power. So maybe it may not be a huge thing, it might not even be noticeable that the assisted GPS may be just as fast as the 3GS's GPS with the built-in GPS receiver. Now, the screen resolution. I know a lot of you guys were saying that we will probably see an OLED screen. I remember in my previous video I said we would not, and apparently I was right. I'm not really too happy about that. I would prefer an OLED screen, but I really didn't think it was going to happen, and well, it didn't. But the screen resolution anyway is going to be 1024 by 768, so this will allow you to watch a 720p video at 30 frames per second, which is adequate for this device. It's something that I expected from Apple, and they came through with this. Okay, so another thing that I mentioned in my previous video, which I actually didn't hear from many other videos on YouTube, is the possibility of a lot of hardware attachments to go in the dock connection of this device. Now, one of the things that Apple kind of showcased is attaching a keyboard, which is one of the main things that I mentioned in the previous video. So basically, you'll have this touch screen device that you'll be able to use when you're on the go. When you're at home, though, you could plug this into this keyboard and have an experience very similar to a laptop computer. Now, I believe the real magic in this device is when the third-party developers will begin to create more things that will be able to connect to this dock connection. Apple has opened the SDK to allow hardware connections, so I believe this is where a lot of the improvements to the device will actually come into play. Apple has created a couple things that you can connect in this dock connection already, including a camera kit and also, as I mentioned, a keyboard. Okay, so there's one major complaint that a lot of you guys have out there, and that is not having a built-in camera. A lot of you guys believe that there would be a front-facing and rear-facing camera on the device. Now, this is one of the things I don't think I mentioned in a video, but I did tweet about this. I really didn't think there would be a camera in this device for a couple of reasons, and one of the main reasons is I believe it would be very cumbersome to have a camera on the device. If you're having a live web chat with this, it'd be very awkward. You'd have to hold it and make sure you keep yourself in frame. With a laptop, you can just set it down. You don't really have to touch the device to keep yourself in frame. Now, with the rear-facing camera to take a picture of something else, I don't really think it'd be that comfortable using such a large device just to take something as simple as a picture. Now, I believe Apple made the correct decision in not including a camera in this device because I think it's a better move not having a camera built in and having us angry about that than it is having us constantly complaining about how awkward it is to use the device. One complaint that I have is the user interface. It looks a little strange to me, although a lot of us will be jailbreaking this device, so we can actually make the user interface look however we would like, but it just looks a little too spaced out. The icons on the home screen are too spread out for my liking. It looks like a lot of wasted space. The dock can only allow 4 icons. I believe it could fit 6 or 7 and it would still look alright. Another thing is the lock screen looks very strange. They basically took the iPhone lock screen and just kind of stretched it out. The slider button looks very strange as well because it only takes up a small portion of the screen. My only complaint about the hardware of the device, I actually think that the hardware looks very nice. The back of the device looks amazing, although the back isn't really important in a device like this. But is the home button, is when you have it in the portrait mode, is actually in a perfect spot, but if you actually slide it over to the landscape mode, a lot of people that have tried this device, their complaint is the home button is a little too high. With the iPhone, because it is small enough, the home button is in a very nice spot that even when you have it in landscape mode, your thumb is already there at the home button. Now with this tablet device, because it is larger, is a little wider, the home button will be somewhere up there, and you have to stretch a little bit to get to it. It's a minor thing. It's not a huge stretch, but it's just something that people have noticed. Alright, so this has been a really quick video by MacMan Limited. Overall, I'm somewhat satisfied with the device. I probably will be picking one up, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm also not sure which version I should get, the Wi-Fi version or the 3G version. Unfortunately, the 3G version will be coming out a month later than the Wi-Fi version, and the Wi-Fi version is expected to show up sometime late March. So, as I said earlier, this has been a really quick video by MacMan Limited. Leave me a couple comments below, your thoughts and opinions on this device as well. If I left anything out, leave me a video response. And if this is the first time you're watching my videos, click the blue link over there that says MacMan Limited. Check out some of the other ones. And if you enjoy them, please click the yellow button to subscribe. I do hold the occasional giveaway if you guys want to get in on that. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.